If you're that kind of person who has that personality that is magnetic, how hard can it be to find a man that wants to stay with you?
In today's video, I will be talking about how to attract a high value man and what are those things that you need to look out for. I will not be doing this alone. I have my partner with me, Shola, and he will share his perspective on this topic. You know, when it comes to the dating world, when it comes to relationships, we as women, we have our perspective, but the men have their own perspective that will also help us understand how to navigate the dating world, what you should look out for, and if you want to attract a high value man, what are those things that you need to pay attention to. Let me start by asking, what does it mean for a man or a woman to be high value from your own perspective?
When we talk about high value, you would be referring to someone's value in terms of what you bring into a relationship. It comes in so many areas. You could be valuable with your skill and career and yet not be a valuable person in a relationship. You could be valuable to your house and yet not be valuable to the immediate community. So when we're talking about high value, a high value person, whether a man or a woman, should be somebody who gives value at all levels, in the home, in the community, around, with career, with provision, with friendship, and all the other areas. So it simply talks about bringing value to whatever aspect or area of life that you're talking about.
Okay. Some people feel that high value, it's all about the financial capability of the person. So you hear some people say, I don't want a high value man, I want a high quality man. I tend to look at it that high value is a totality of everything. Do you think that monetary value is what people should actually look at when you talk about high value man, or is high quality and high value different?
Okay, so when you say high quality, that sounds like a strange term to me, but if you're high value, you should be of high quality. Your mindset, your thinking, your application, your viewpoint to a lot of things. But then again, when you talk about high value, it's not necessarily finances, but if you're a high value man, of course, that will be a key or a part of what makes the totality high value.
Okay.
So, for example, a man of high value would be responsible enough to prepare himself for whatever he has to do to take care of his partner or his family, or any other person involved in his life. So when you are high value, I see it to be that you be someone who is not only responsible but knows when to do and what to do to make sure that you bring good value to everyone you love.
Okay.
Which would include acquiring the necessary skills or training or ability to be able to provide as a man. Like in the case of a man now, for you to be a high value man, you must be a provider, a guardian, a role model, someone who generally has control over things. Yes.
Okay, so let's bring it back.
When I say control, I don't mean control in the sense, because I know a lot of women could misinterpret that. When I say control, you can drive the home without the lack
more like
of the
lead.
basic lead. I think that's the word.
Okay, so in terms of relationships, what do high value men look for
in a woman? It would usually be more than 3. Don't forget that every man differs. So to certain people, there are some on those lists that you move towards the downside of the list, which would then apply to your personality. But basic things is about, if you want to say first 3, like you mentioned 3, you'll be talking about a high value woman that is desirable to a high value man. So a woman of high value will be someone who has the ability to love and nurture.
Okay.
Someone who can take care of the home, someone who can take care of your offspring, somebody who can make your life easier in that direction where you want to grow. That would be number 1. That's love and nurture. Then the ability to be independent, somebody who has the ability to take charge and lead. For example, you could have a situation whereby the man maybe has to be out of town for a while, a woman who can be in the house and lead the home or the family in such a way that the children wouldn't feel so much the absence of the parent, of the father,
Okay.
in this case. Then the third one would be, a woman who has the ability to grow,
Okay.
somebody who shares your growth vision, somebody who has the ability, maybe through her skills, through her experiences, through her choices, through her decision making. And so I figure every man wants a woman who can give him stability. And if
Okay.
you look at these three things I mentioned, that's what brings stability to a man of high value,
Okay.
or to any man.
To any man. Okay, so if I hear you properly, stability is the key word for what a man looks for in
Every man and woman wants stability.
stability. Okay. What would you say are the mistakes that women of today are making when it comes to attracting a high value man and building a high value relationship?
So there are many things I personally have observed. First of all, there's this rule that says you attract what you are or who you are. For example, you are not a high value woman. You are not likely to attract a high value man.
Okay.
Because, like they say in life, things that are alike attract each other. Now, if you are that woman who you desire so many good features from a man, but you have minimal good features to give to a man, how then do you attract a high value man? So the mistakes I see is that everybody looks at what they want without actually asking themselves, what do I offer?
Offer.
So for you to attract something that looks good, you have to offer something good. And that happens a lot everywhere, even in business. If I'm a company and I'm trying to, partner with your company, the moment I come close and I start to talk about partnership, the other company is looking at, okay, what do we
What
stand
have you
to
brought to
gain
the table?
for me to want to go into this partnership? And the same goes for men and women. But then the other part to it, which I think is more critical, or what people should pay more attention to, is what is your definition of a high value man? Because I think most people get it wrong.
I agree with you. I think the definition of high value has been broken into bits and pieces that women today have redefined what it means to them. So you see some people look at it from a materialistic point of view.
I think most people do.
There's this trend that's been out there. I'm looking for a man in finance, 6'5", 6 feet, blue eye. So that's a definition of what some people think a high value man is. Some people feel that a man who cannot impress me financially from the get-go of the talking stage, from the dating stage, is not high value.
So generally, I think a lot of people get things wrong. And that's one of the things I could attribute that to, is when you let your emotions, your feelings, your desire drive you.
Okay.
You make a lot of mistakes. You could be looking at red and you're calling it pink. That's because that's what you really want to see. Now that applies in all areas of life, which also then happens in relationships. Now, if you were coming from a background where your situation has always been that case of lack, you never had someone to help you do this, you never had someone to give you those opportunities you would have loved to have to make it in life. Of course, making it in life or finding a helper would be on the paramount of, on your list. Now, that is also another angle, which means whatever you lack, it is human to look for, to be drawn to it, to be attracted to it. So if you lack finances, of course, somebody who is financially buoyant or stable will look very attractive to you.
Becomes your criteria.
But then, at the end of the day, now the other part of it is you might not have finance, but you could bring to the table potentials of expanding, making better, or developing such finance. In that case, you would be very attractive to a man who already has finance but sees potential in you that could help develop the finance or give it stability. So the area of misunderstanding what you're looking for when you say a high value man, but necessarily It doesn't have to be that you're looking for a man who is already financially stable or rich, in this case. A high value man, you could tell in his ways. Getting financial freedom or getting to that point where people call you rich is a journey. In fact, when you get there, you still need to do a lot to keep yourself there. Either you keep growing at that level, because dropping means you're failing at some point. So it's a journey, and it's a journey that don't stop.
Okay.
That's why you see some, well, I'll use the term old money. They don't just go back and sit down when those family fortunes is being handed over to the next generation.
Yes,
they keep
guide
up
them.
with it. You have to. It's a constant thing. So you could find a man or a woman of high value, not because he now has 2 billion in his account, but you can spot the potentials. Is he going somewhere? How dedicated to this cause is he? And it's not just about wanting a lot of money. It's about his principles, what he wants to be, how he wants to use such funds when he gets it, and so many other things. But then you would understand in this side of the world where we'll have a high population of lack. You know, you have a very wide situation of not having enough, and that's why you ended up not becoming what you have dreamt of as a kid. So there's a lot of lack. Now, you would easily understand, if you see from the point of view of lack, why many people would think the first thing that matters is wealth and money. Yes, but that's not what you look out for. That's why you're better off choosing a bride or a man when you yourself are financially stable. You would see clearly, because all those things that would have, be the drive for what you think you're looking for.
Yeah.
You can see better and clearly when you have financial stability.
When you have it.
Yes.
Finally, based on your experience, your journey through life, what is that one thing that you feel women today should master to help them not only attract a high value man, but become what they want to attract?
Okay, so that, I think, has to do with working on yourself first before you then start to come out to say this is what you want. You need to work from within first.
Okay.
If you want to be happy, you need to be happy from within you. Then you can accept, because when you take the negative, when you take the positive plus someone else positive, then it becomes positive raised to power 2. But if you are not happy and you have chosen not to be happy, there's nothing anybody can do that will make you happy. So it starts from within you. Build yourself up, be valuable, such that when people meet you, they want to be your friend. If you're that kind of person who has that personality that is magnetic, how hard can it be to find a man that wants to stay with you? But when you have that, that force around you, that darkness around you, or that negativity of you, it just repels people away.
Thank you very much for being a part of my YouTube channel and answering all the questions. This next video, where we talk about what high value men notice in the first 20 minutes or 30 minutes of meeting you.